He takes you and blesses you and breaks you and gives you to the world. You cannot be given to the world until you've been taken by the Master, blessed by God, broken by life, and then given to the world. I was 17 years old. I laid down and went to sleep. And while I was sleeping, I dreamed I was reading a verse that I didn't know existed at the time. God was saying to a young man, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee, or I ordained thee and I sanctified thee to be a prophet to the nations. And when I woke that morning, I just took my Bible with childlike faith and just let it fall open. And it fell open on Jeremiah. And he said, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee, and I ordained thee, and I sanctified thee to be a prophet unto the nations. And all of a sudden, I remembered all the stories my mother told me about when I was born. I was born with a veil over my face, and one of the neighbors came down and said, look, the Lord has given you a prophet. And Mama said, a prophet? She said, yeah, he has a veil over his face. Thin membrane born over some babies' faces. I was one of them. That membrane, the old folks said, was a sign you were a prophet, but I didn't know I was a prophet, so I was a wild, crazy, foolish, ignorant, rambunctious kid who got into everything and anything all the time, driving people crazy. And I was having a good time doing my own thing until God came along and messed it all up by bringing this stuff again about me being a preacher. And I ran from my calling. I purposely got drunk and went wild and got high and partied and did everything I could to convince him to go away. Get one of them people with the little doilies on their head and the long skirts on and the no makeup who pray all day and talk in tongues all the time and leave me alone, because I am not one of them. I'm crazy. I'm ignorant. I'm wild. I'm uncouth. I will embarrass you. I will disgrace you. Please don't call me. This is not going to be good for you, and it's not going to be good for me, and we should not do this together. But God didn't ask me to vote. He asked me to obey. And after several years of running, and after several years of going in clubs and sitting on bar stools where one drunk would lean over to me and say, funny man, I had the craziest dream about you. I dreamed you was preaching in this church, and I got up and ran out of the club. And I felt like David, if I make my bed in hell, thou art there. And if I take the wings of the morning and ascend to the uttermost parts of the earth, thou art there. And I'm not going to be able to outrun this. And I couldn't understand that God wouldn't let me go. I couldn't understand why God picked me. If I get to heaven